Welcome in, everybody, to the In Off the Bench podcast. My name is Jim Cross. DB will be joining us later tonight, but we got a three-part special for us with regional action taking off, man. We got to talk to the teams that we're invested in. We're going to start Tennessee, A.J. Russell, man, the gunslinger. He's getting healthy. He's getting more time on the mound. He's getting ready for the postseason. We're going to talk to him. Luke Hill from Ole Miss. Man, this kid, tremendous growth throughout the season. I'm excited to see what he's going to do in the postseason. And then, last but not least, we got to talk LSU. We got to talk Cade Anderson. Like, nobody's shoving like him maybe right now. Maybe I'm just saying that because it's my team. Maybe AJ will disagree. I don't know. He's got Liam Doyle on his team, but excited to talk to Cade. But before we do, we got to plug the sponsors. Chinook Cidery. I like OG. No matter what flavor you like, there's 8 of them. 8 flavors, mild to wild, the best in the game. Less salt and no sandpaper tongue. Old Dominick Distillery in the heart of downtown Memphis. Whiskey, vodka, bourbon, gin, they got it all. Whatever your taste is, hit them up. Go online at olddominick.com or go into Memphis, get you some in the storefront. But last but not least, Jesus One Apparel. Big announcement today. We dropped I got the Tennessee for the men's on, but we dropped the softball. We got the Summit Blues out there. Use your code IOTB15. Support Jesus One. Support the men's baseball team. Support the softball team. Empowering young men and women with John 16:33. But enough of me rambling. Got to get the man himself on. AJ Russell, how we doing, man?
Doing good, man. Appreciate you having me.
Absolutely, man. Let me tell you something. Every time I see you in person, like, you're always smiles. Like, is it simply because you're getting to play a kid's game that you love, and every time I see you, it's a baseball field?
Absolutely. I mean, it's my happy place for sure, and it's I'm happy to be back out there, especially having watched the last year and a half. So it's been good.
Yeah, every time I see you, it's also a reminder that I'm not 6 foot tall, and so that's the only bad part. I got to get a dap, and then I'm like chest level, but it's all good. Man, I want to get into a few things, but I want to start. I got a clip that I wanted to bring up, and I wanted to show you, but I wanted to ask you before I did it. We did our other show, Pros and Joes, and that's where we talked to the pro baseball players. But I had on Ben Zobrist, 2-time World Series champ, MVP.
Oh, okay.
And we talked to him about, the mental health aspect, and he actually talked about, NCAA, and with all the rule changes and everything that it's taken, this kids game that we're talking about has become professional. It is professional baseball, and he's talked about how the statistics back up now that the athletes are more stressed, have more anxiety, have more depression than ever. I'm not even speaking about you, but just in a whole sense, are you seeing this that models these statistics because of what all the game is requiring? We're talking about plug and play guys. We're talking about the NIL. We're talking about the pressure of social media, all those things.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think I can speak on it for sure. It was something for me as a freshman. I came in, I was stressed just because your number one goal is to play, right? You want to play as much as humanly possible. You want to be a part of the team. You want to, I mean, there's so many things that you want to do as a freshman when you first get here. There's a big learning curve, right? There's the being away from home, that first 6 months of just not being with your family, and then also the pressure of performing in the classroom, but also on the field and the schedule each and every day.
It was just funny, AJ. I still to this day have people that think that because you are great athletes, you don't have to go to school. And I used to always tell them, look, Dylan Cruz had to go to class. And I was like, if Dylan Cruz goes to class, everybody goes to class.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's a full day's work, right? You're going to class in the morning, you're waking up early, going to class, then you're going straight to the field, and you're there at the field.
I pulled the clip from the episode, AJ, from Andrew Fisher's episode. He actually talked about it. The reason he left from Duke to Ole Miss, the reason he left Duke initially is he said he gained about 20 more hours a week to work on athletics because Duke's academic schedule was so demanding. And he said, my goal is to play professional baseball. So as much as it sounds like he's throwing a slight at, academics, he's like, man, I'm trying to play professional baseball. I need those hours in. But I say that to say, you still have to get to academic no matter where you are. And so, yeah, you're sun up to sundown.
Absolutely. And it's and it takes a toll on you, right? And then you're getting, I mean, obviously guys are getting paid now, and there's more pressure when it comes to that, and there's more pressure to perform, and with the transfer portal, they're just going to go get somebody better if that's the case. You're not performing, right? So there's all these kind of hidden pressures that not many people, I would say, see from the outside, and I mean, I think that 100% leads to anxiety and some stress amongst players.
Yeah, it used to be just about fighting here for your position. It's
Exactly.
about all the other things, I think bringing back up Fisher, just that Ole Miss thing. I'm still like Ole Miss is thriving.
Yeah.
Tennessee is doing their thing. And yet it's like people are still so unhappy that him and Liam left. And it's like, first of all, it's in the past. And second, like your team is doing better than they did last year when you had them. Clearly, like it didn't mesh for whatever reason, but like let it go. And so I bring that up because instead they're still hammering dude on social media when he goes to ballparks. And it's like that's just not good for him. But here's the clip with Ben.
Now here's the big statistic that just came out that I think is very important for people to pay attention to. The NCAA says that the mental health of student athletes, while it used to be positive to be a collegiate athlete for your mental health, now collegiate athletes are dealing with mental health challenges at a higher clip than the average student. So that tells us what we need to know about the professionalization of this and what direction it's taking us. It's not just because college has changed or the academic side has changed. It's because the sports experience has changed.
And so, yeah, like it's just everything that you just said. And I bring all that up because I'm hoping somehow they will get control of all this. You'll never be able to control the social media side of it. We know that, right? But like, or fans just in general. But if they can take care of the NIL, I think because what I'm getting told, and this is crazy, AJ. When I was 19, I joined the military. I started getting a paycheck. Well, hell, I had a paycheck from the time I was 14. But I'm told that y'all are men because y'all are paid, that y'all are no longer kids. And so basically, Derek Curriell, 18 years old, he's no longer a kid, I guess, because he's getting paid to play baseball. That's exactly it's crazy talk.
Yeah, and I mean, and guys see everything, right? So it's not like you're like, this is going to sound bad, but I mean, we see everything that's put out there. It's not like nothing some things obviously get biased because we're not actively looking for stuff. But I mean, if something's tweeted at us or people are DMing us or something like that, everybody sees everything. And I mean, it absolutely takes a toll, and it's part of it because as an athlete, you want to do the very best that you can possibly do every time you're out there. Like we're not.
Well, I mean, I'll put it to you like this, AJ. I think all people are wired to a certain degree to care, even if you shouldn't care. Like we can get 10 reviews on the podcast. 9 can be great. All it takes is that one thrashing, and that's going to stick with me because somebody doesn't like us for, whatever reason. And the same thing, y'all can see that, and you could probably glance over a lot of them. But then there's that person who maybe just says something that maybe the right words or whatever, and just hits to your core and it sticks. And it's like, man, I don't understand what I did for that person to talk about me like that.
Exactly. So it's part of the game, obviously, and I can say that's part of it just because it's just something that as an athlete you have to deal with, and that's kind of from probably college on. That's something that you're going to have to deal with if that's the goal is play professional sports. Is you're going to deal with that kind of stuff, and it's obviously a factor for sure. But something that the university does is, and they do a great job at it, is they have mental coaches and they have therapists here that are at our disposal, right? So guys can go talk to people if they need that kind of stuff, or if they need certain help with like some mental things or along those lines. We have people that you can reach out to, which
that's what Ben's doing now for a living. Professional baseball player. He could just be kicking his feet up. He's got the money saved, AJ. He's chose to mental health, and he doesn't even help just the athletes. He helps the parents and the coaches too. So shout out to him to go in full circle. But
it's a big deal.
Moving to the next step, because I'm going to kind of go out of order. I was going to finish with this, but because we keep talking about professional athletes and bringing up Ben, Baseball America came out with their brand new top 500 that came out today. I know most of you guys, 99% of y'all do not look, but I got to ask, man, I know you hear about it. We just talked about you. Nothing can get by you. Your projected first rounder. Like this is every kid's dream, man. You want to play professional baseball. You want to get drafted in the first round. When you just hear those things, man, is it not? I mean, you got to be getting excited. Obviously, you're worried about winning a second national championship right now. You're worried about getting fully healthy, pitching these long games like you're used to. But it's hard to not hear about the future and think, man, like I might be getting drafted in the first round. Everything that I ever worked for is going to come true.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously the goal is to win as much as humanly possible while I'm here on campus. And but also when I came to Tennessee, the goal was to get drafted and play professional baseball. And that's kind of why I came to the University of Tennessee, because I knew that the people here and the support staff and everything would get me ready to play at the next level. And I think that like hearing that kind of stuff when I first got on campus was like, there's no way. Like if I was looking ahead from when I first got on campus, I'd be like, there's no way I'm going to be a first rounder just because of where I was at. Right. But what Tennessee has done such a great job at is just the development and the strength training.
Look at all the guys you played with as they went up, and even the guys right before that. Tennessee, the guys who've moved up, like we've had 17 guests who've made it to the show. I think 8 of them, maybe 9, are from Tennessee. A bunch of them are knocking on the door. Like the growth that y'all have, obviously y'all have talent coming in there, but the growth that y'all have in your time there, and then once you talking like Dolander talks about the pitching coach he had there, just taking you that one step higher. And so it's hard for you to also not look just one step higher and say, hey man, all my boys, they're doing it too, and I pitched with them and I play with them, and like, hey, and it's cool. Like I saw Halverson close down the game last night, and it's really cool. Tennessee is really putting them out there. I'm sure in the fall, the next couple of seasons, the young guys are going to be coming in when the old guys are coming, they're working out, and they're like, so
exactly. And I mean, you look at like Gilbert's going to be up soon.
He's in what I call purgatory right now, because if he was on just about any other team, he'd already be called up, but the Mets don't need an outfielder.
Exactly. And it's like Dolander's been throwing a good bit in the bigs, and Tidwell got.
What do you think when you hear about elbow tightness? He just hit the IL. Is that a cause for concern, or you think they're just playing it safe?
I mean, it could be so many different things, right? I mean, I don't think it's anything that needs to be a concern or anything like that. I don't know.
It's a good time to be precautionary, because the Rockies just aren't good. He's the one. It's funny, him and Jordan Beck, the 2 Tennessee guys, are like the only thing they got going. Seth Alverson's doing good, but he can't come in and close the game if you don't have the lead. That's the problem there.
Exactly. There's no reason to throw your closer when you're down 8 runs, right? So it's just kind of I'm not sure. I need to go look at what they said.
That's all it says, and I didn't see it happen, but he was fine the other day and did that, and I figured it was just precautionary. No reason. I think really they've seen everything they need to see from them this year. However you handle them the rest of the year, you can play it really safe, because like we said, they're not right now. They're competing for worst record. That's about it.
And they slow rolled them too, anyways, right in the minors. And
that's a money thing. They did it with Skeens. They're doing it with Burns and Hagen Smith. I realize it doesn't matter what organization it is with those elite pitchers, because the longer they can keep you down, the less they can pay you. And it's all a business, brother.
Yeah, Burns needs to be up. I mean,
him and Hagen Smith. The guys who were dominating in the SEC are dominating in AA, and it goes with what every guy who's told me they joined the SEC when they had the option to get drafted. They said they can get just as much from SEC ball as they can the minors, except the difference is you get all the perks of being in college versus being on the road on a bus, staying in crappy hotels. Like people don't understand the minor league grind is completely different. You can go to college, and we just talked about how tough it is, but there's still a lot of nice things, including sleeping in a nice bed and having good meals and all that good stuff, and being in the comfort of a much nicer a bus, for that matter, like any of that stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, it is a grind, and it's something you got to be prepared for. So, yeah.
All right. So let's get into this year, man. When I first came out there and saw you, you were just getting the inning. You've been working. You got 2 stints where you went 3 2/3. Man, really have picked up a version of the old you. Vandy, Arkansas, and Alabama last 3 games, but specifically you only went 2 innings at Arkansas, but pretty masterful. Only gave up 1 hit, no walks, 3 Ks. You had 5 Ks against Vandy, 5 against Alabama. You're getting to really go up there. I feel like, next stint, you're probably going 4 or more if everything's going right. So how are you feeling out there?
Yeah, no, I feel great. And it's part of kind of the momentum thing, right? So it's like I got up, I had a ton of momentum. I got up, and it was probably early in the year. Was it late February? I think it was, right? And I was only 8 months out of surgery. And kind of the doctor was kind of like, let's be easy on this a little bit. Like, you're 8 months and a week out of surgery. There's no reason to be pushing this.
And it's hard, right? Because your dad is sitting there telling me everything's good. But
Yeah.
we talk about the social media aspect. Everybody's questioning. All these rumors are spreading. It's like I can't say anything. Obviously, I'm not going to look, man. His dad tell me he's good to go. They're slow rolling this thing.
Exactly. And it was like, I'm totally healthy. I feel great. I hit 97, right? Like I was up 97. I was 94, 96, I think, for that inning. And it was just kind of one of those things where it was like, let's pump the brakes for a second. We're way ahead of schedule than we were anticipating. I wasn't even really expecting to throw this year, to be honest with you, just because of how everything was kind of shaping up when I got surgery. I mean, I got surgery in middle of June, right? So it wasn't even an expectation for me to throw. And then all of a sudden I'm throwing in early February. And so we kind of slow rolled it, shut it down for about another month and a half. I don't even think it was a month and a half. But I got closer to that 10-month mark and I started feeling a lot better. And it was just more comfortable. And it was more mental things than it was anything else, right? I didn't need the time. I didn't really want the time. I wanted to pitch, obviously.
Yeah.
It was something that the guy that did my surgery told me to wait. So I followed everything that he told me.
Look, I'll put it to you this way. I just had the surgery, right?
Yep.
So I just got told I'm cleared to do light weights, but I'll tell you, AJ, I'm in there and I feel like I can cut loose and do everything. But
Exactly.
he was adamant. Adamant. Take your time, go light. So I know exactly what you're talking about. And I followed what they said, but every time I'm in there, and of course you're pitching a baseball, which is much more exciting. But every time I'm in there, like I just want to add a little bit more weight, even though I'm not supposed to. So I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like I want to throw this ball a little bit harder this one, or that kind of thing. So I took that time off, and then it's more about just getting momentum and getting forward. And I feel great. Body feels amazing. And it's just kind of I've gained that momentum over the past couple of weeks, and kind of just I'm riding with it. And it's what it's probably.
Your stuff's been great, man. We talk about the strikeouts. I mean, the strikeouts are there, and obviously you had the outing against this last one against Alabama. It was a little dicey, but for the most part, still good numbers, not walking people. You're striking them out, which I know that's your key, right? You don't want to walk guys. So definitely you can see that the stuff's there, and you're getting into that longevity right at the right time, right? Because we talked about this way back when. We know who the front two guys are, who's going to step up. And obviously the first people everybody's looking at is you and Teagan, right? But to me, not a shade at Teagan, I know what you can do in the big moments. There's a reason why you're projected first rounder. So you're the guy that, hey, man, if y'all get to a rubber match with somebody in a super regional, we're going to AJ, ball's going to AJ, and Tony V feels good that we have our guy.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just, I threw, I think 77 or 80 pitches, which is, that's the second most pitches I've thrown here, because it was freshman year I was a reliever. I didn't throw a whole lot because I'm pitching on
78.
Yeah, I was on the same staff as Dolander and Burns and Beam, and then you look at the bullpen and it's Andrew Lindsay.
Tennessee's always had an embarrassment of riches, and it's the pitching.
Right. So, and when you're a freshman, you come into that, it's like, oh, you're not gonna throw a ton. I think I got 30 innings, and I had a good year. And then last year I started that game. I threw about 80 pitches again in Texas, and then I never got up any higher than that, just because of going up and down with my injury, right? So it was.
Yeah, I looked at what you were talking about in the dates. It's got to be hard. You come out there and pitch on 225. You're thinking, hey, here we go. And then you wait till 4-1. So over the last few years, it's been stop, go. So I know that, we talked about that mental health side of it, especially, man, when this is all you want to do, man. This is what you live for. But it's all coming to fruition now. Your patience has paid off. Your hard work has paid off. Like I said, it's going good. So, coming up, y'all have the regional. You have, Wake Forest, Cincinnati, Miami. Y'all start with Miami. How excited are y'all? Like, this to me, you can't overlook anybody, but there are some, like, I'm fixing to do Ole Miss with Luke Hill. They got a bad draw in Georgia Tech, right? Like a team that a lot of people felt like should be a 1 seed. Like, I feel like there's nobody, and that, like I said, it's not disrespect, but there's nobody scary. I know you enough to know that you're looking at these and saying we should win all these games. So when you look at that, were y'all excited with the 3 teams that are coming in?
Yeah, absolutely. I think no matter what, I think all these guys are excited, right? It's a fresh start. It's at the end of the day, you just got to win 3 games, right? And it's before you lose 2. So it's one of those things where it's like
there's a hidden storyline in here that nobody's talked about that I was waiting till this episode to bring up.
Yeah,
one Matthew Dallas might be on the bump against Tennessee.
I think guys want him to be on the bump if
I'm sure that, and hey, he's a guest of the show and he's a good dude, but I know that I know he just bailed out on Tennessee like it was nothing. So hey, we've been talking about all this stuff that goes back and forth between teams, and there's no dislike towards them. It's just hey, we're gonna make you pay for leaving us.
Yeah, I mean it's not. There's no dislike, nothing there. I mean, guys loved him when he was here, and it's one of those things, right, where you see with a lot of people, sometimes it's just not a right fit, and that's
if you look at his stuff, he would be like, because y'all got guys who aren't getting a lot of time that are really good now. Like he would have been in a situation where he wouldn't have got the pitches, but I think he made a good move because sometimes you got to go where you can play. It's no different than some of these guys, man. They'll drop to a Division II or a JUCO so they can play, so they don't got to sit the bench. I never will have a problem with a guy who's trying to go get playing time.
Exactly. No, and none of us do either. I think for some guys, they see writing on the wall, right? And it's kind of like, you know what? I think this is not the right place for me, or something's not going to work out in my favor. And there's obviously conversations that lead to that. And I don't know his full story. Didn't feel right to like pry that out of him or ask him out. You know what I mean? So it's
and he was, when we had him on, he was happy there, and that goes back to when I was talking about the Fisher thing and the Ole Miss thing. All you want is guys to be happy, and that's why these fans need to just simmer down. Like if the guys are happy, who cares? Like, and so he's happy there, y'all are happy there. But it would be nice though, just for storyline purposes. The other storyline is we had Griffin Merritt on here, and he's, from Cincinnati, he played for Tennessee. And so I asked him, and I screenshot the text and shared it with the boys. I said, who are you rooting for? And he was like, I plead the fifth. And I was like, oh, no, we're not doing that. Who are you rooting for? He goes, I just both hope he did I hope they play and have fun and be safe. And I was like, oh, we're not doing that. But he refuses to pick. Interesting for him, because when he came on the second time, he was like, man, I was at Cincinnati for 4 years, but he said, I really just feel like, man, I understand what VFL stands for. And he's like, I feel like just I'm a Vol. And so now here we are, and it's like all of a sudden he's changed his tune. No, I'm riding him in the middle of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's got to be tough too, right? Where you're sitting there and you're kind of juggling. There's probably two very big parts of his life, right? Where and he only spent a year here, but guys here loved him, and that was a big thing. And obviously
he's a professional for sure.
He is. And he said
something funny. He defended the Vandy guys the other day, AJ. So when they were doing the ring around the rosy thing in the circle, he said, look, and he told me this because he knows I didn't play baseball. He goes, we play a lot of games and we have a lot of downtime. And he said, sometimes you just have to do stupid stuff to pass the time and get along and have camaraderie. He said the biggest thing you should take from that, because he knows the kind of guy I am, he said, the fact that the team's getting along. He said, as stupid as it looks, man, those are brothers right there. And I was like, all right, you know what? I needed that perspective, because it still looks, I don't know, man. I'm not holding hands, dancing in a circle, but I get it. I see where he's going.
I don't think I will either, but
Tennessee's not riding with that.
No.
But hey, I do got one more thing for you. Man, I've now seen you pitch in all the uniforms, and I can't remember your answer, so I'm gonna bring it back around. Let's say you were going to toe the rubber and you could pick which uniform you were going to be in. Is it the gray, the black, or the whites, or the creams?
The creams. Last year I would have said the blacks, just because of how
I'm a sucker for the gray, honestly.
The grays are nice. The jerseys,
I have no bad ones, though. That's the reality on this.
The jersey's just a little too big on me in the gray, so it's kind of like I don't love it. But they gave us new pants for the creams, and so they're so much. The pants this year are so much better than they were last year, and I love the cream jerseys. So now when you add the better pants, it's kind of like
the creams look good. It's funny though, you give the aspect of wearing them, and that's what we usually get. Like I remember, I think specifically Vance Honeycutt came on here and said his favorite was the vest jersey, and I was like, oh, that's gross. All the nice jerseys you got, he goes, it feels like I'm wearing nothing, and I was like, oh, well, that makes sense then. So I mean, I'm not the one wearing it.
Exactly. It's like not like the best ones don't always look the best. They just feel the best when you wear them, and that's kind of like. It's kind of all that matters, right? It's how you feel when you go out there when you're wearing that certain uniform. So.
No doubt. Well, I'm gonna let you off here, but the thing that I'm gonna say is not only do I want y'all to take care of business because I told you I want to see y'all in Omaha. I need Arkansas to not get knocked out of their region, and I need to see that series again because I still think y'all are the better team, and I'd like to see y'all go into Fayetteville and in their year. And I think a lot of people, just SEC fans in general, that's kind of became a little bit of a rivalry here over the last 4 or 5 years. So I think everybody want to see that one. So we'll start by taking care of business this weekend, but hopefully it results in Arkansas, and then ultimately I'll get to see you in person in Omaha. But I appreciate you taking the time and wish you nothing but the best of luck. Hope you get to toe the rubber and everything goes well.
Absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. That's AJ Russell, everyone. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to have Luke Hill from Ole Miss.